I just want to start this video by saying, what the hell is this? It's that. That's even more funnier than her man arms and flat non-existent chest. Oh, this is gonna be great.
You may have noticed that I've been away for a week or so, doing my best to drink every bar in New England dry, and generally having a delightful
Definitely a worthy challenge.
time away from YouTube. But hey, all good things have got to come to an end, and in my case, they ended on the flight home, where I decided to kill some time by firing up Netflix and watching a few episodes of Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara.
Should have tried to spank a stewardess. Well, time much more well spent in prison.
Croft. I mean, really, when you've got a smoking hot, kick-ass woman as your main character, action, adventure, and exotic locations, how can you really go wrong?
What face?
Easily. Also, good pause. Yeah, easily. He looks retarded. She looks constipated, man, a lesbian. She is, by the way. Yeah, you know she is.
Face is that?
My thinking one.
Oh no! Enter the "my face is tired" memes from a time long before.
Jesus wept. Honestly, apart from the god-awful Resident Evil series that I'm still having therapy for, I don't think I've seen any-
Didn't watch the Resident Evil thing. Okay, I'm smart enough to ignore a couple of disasters.
show misuse its source material in such spectacular fashion before. Tomb Raider is a fucking embarrassment that shames the very name of Lara Croft, sacrifices character and story integrity to work in-
Wait. What the Yo! Is she a midget? Why does she have midget hands?
all the tedious and cringy tropes of
Oh,
modern
man.
writing, wastes its talented voice cast on clunky dialogue, and rams it all home with shitty animation that looks about 20 years out of date. In short, it's a boring and pandering mess that proves once again why Lara Croft absolutely-
Yo, what the hell is with those Hulk hands now? What is going on here? My god! Do you even know what proportions are? What the hell is this? Also, his gut is ginormous.
once again why Lara Croft absolutely cannot be adapted for modern audiences. Anyway, grab your sports bra and wildly impractical bow and arrow that's far less efficient than a gun, and let's get the plot summary over with. So the show kicks off with a young, relatively green Lara on a mission in Chile to recover an ancient
Young and green? Don't worry, she's probably already perfect.
puzzle box artifact, and for the first few minutes things seem to be going relatively well. There's all the usual Tomb Raider hallmarks you'd expect, plenty of traps, dangerous wildlife, death-defying leaps of faith, and a few bad guys to spice things up. Lara duly finds the box and hands it off to her mentor, Roth, only for more baddies to show up, forcing Roth to kill them. I love how Lara acts all shocked
Oh no.
when she sees this. Like, Jesus, these guys were trying to kill you a few minutes ago. What the fuck did you think was
Because, obviously...
gonna happen when they caught up to you? Anyway, flash forward 3 years or so, and we're introduced to a much tougher and more experienced Lara, who for some reason is having a fist fight with a woman in a lucha libre mask. And at that moment, I knew that this show
Questionable.
was fucked. See, I get why they did this. They wanted to show the audience how much of a tough, tenacious fighter Lara is now, taking
By beating a woman?
a beating but refusing to back down again.
Wait. By beating an indigenous native woman while being a white colonizer? Hey, that's my language right there. Whoa, maybe it's actually a good city? No, it's not.
Against a superior opponent, and how she's no longer the naive young woman that we saw in the intro. That's nice and all, but the thing is, it completely misunderstands the essence of her
She drinks black coffee because she's as evil and dark and tough as... and
character. Lara Croft isn't some lumbering brawler who gets into bare-knuckle boxing matches for fun. She's supposed to be smarter, more sophisticated, and cooler-headed than that. She's an adventurer, not a fighter, and she doesn't have to prove herself to anyone. The thrill for her is exploring the unknown.
Show us the biblically accurate triangular Lara Croft.
Finding the unfindable, overcoming obstacles, and outthinking traps and enemies. Yeah, she'll defend herself when she has to, but in that case, she's more likely to resort to guns than fists. You know, because guns are actually pretty good at leveling the playing field, and they allow someone who isn't particularly big or strong to hold their own against bigger opponents. But oh well, whatever.
Makes too much sense for, modern days, okay? It's evil.
Pretty soon she's contacted by non-threatening male sidekick number 1 and told to stop moping around and come home because apparently her little group of super friends just can't live without her. So she comes home to Croft Manor and runs into non-threatening male sidekick number 2, who's an absolute fan.
Wow. He is more gay than gayness.
With a personality more irritating than a sandpaper condom. And after more moping around, she decides to donate all her family treasures to a museum because she thinks it'll help her move on or something. I literally
That's the Lara Croft thing to do, boys.
cannot understand how they expect to reconcile this version of Lara with the one in the original game, which canonically is due to happen shortly.
They don't.
After the events of this show. Anyway, whatever. The point is that after going off alone to mope around some more, Lara spots a thief who steals the puzzle box from the start of the episodes. And in the 3 years that she's had this thing, she's never once tried to open it.
Makes sense.
Anyway, this is our main baddie, Charles, who's out to take revenge against the secret.
Wait. Did he do the female entrance hair whip after removing a bicycle helmet?
Our main baddie,
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Charles, who's out to take revenge against the secret society who murdered his dad. And the way he plans to do this is to recover.
Oh my god, he plans to do it by becoming the Avatar. But when the world needed him the most, he vanished. And now Charles needs to find himself teachers and all the other elements so they can help him. Oh no. The hell is going on here?
4 ancient artifacts that have been scattered across the globe, bringing them all together and then using them to blow up the world or something.
Wait. Tell me more about her because I am intrigued. What reasons? Obvious reasons.
World or something. I don't really know, man. The methadone.
God, look at that perfect complexion if I'm gonna call the manager and stomp on you because reasons. And she's definitely wearing a pencil skirt. You know this is trouble. That's worth every last drop of everything that you can pull inside of her, okay? Listen, this is... I'm not saying this is the perfect female form, but it kinda is. Slightly longer, hair would also probably do good, but this is what we want, okay? The perfect mix of dangerous, insane, and motherhood right there. Oh! This series doesn't know what they did on accident. Oh no.
I don't really know, man. The methadone was kicking in pretty hard by that point, so I was tuning out towards the end. Anyway, for the most part, it's your standard Tomb Raider setup. We've got a bad guy trying to unleash powers beyond his control, so Lara has to travel around the world in a race against time to recover the 4 pieces before Charles does. I say, old boy, this calls for some hardcore moping. Not to mention the classic staples of all good Tomb Raider games. Interpersonal dramas, daddy issues, a good bit
Hell yeah!
of crying, and a possible lesbian relationship.
I was getting excited on the possible lesbian relationship, but now I'm suddenly not.
Yeah, Lara's gay now, by the way. Or at least as heavily implied as the writers could possibly get away with, because heterosexual relationships in modern entertainment are rarer than female
Big no.
apologies these days. You know when you construct an image of a showrunner for something like this, and you keep telling
Oh god, what the fuck?
yourself, nah, that's just a cliche, they can't
Get it
possibly
off
look
the
like
screen,
that.
what the hell?
Well, there you go. Now, there's a lot of things to criticize about this show, but by far the biggest one is the fucking protagonist. And what's so annoying for me is that the path to success was practically laid out for them. This show...
Well, obviously, it's a modern day story, she's already perfect, and she does not need to figure out her weaknesses because she has none. Her mission as a strong, independent woman of color is obviously making the world understand how great she is instead of overcoming anything.
Actually had the potential to be a neat bridge between the rebooted prequel trilogy and the classic original games that follow on from them, finally giving us a Lara who's more in step with the version that we all know and love.
Are you serious?
Nope. Instead, we're stuck with the same mopey, weepy, emotionally fragile wet rag that we've been dragging around for 3 increasingly tedious games. The only difference now is that she's swapped one dead father figure for another one to feel sad about, putting her in exactly the same position as before and
That's funny.
accomplishing absolutely nothing.
Fuck.
You know, for a show that's supposedly all about female empowerment, it's kinda weird that it insists on making its protagonist beholden to men at all times. Why does everyone insist
They always do it. It always comes around somehow. It just always does. They're still avoiding this, honestly.
on sucking the fun out of a protagonist like Lara Croft when she's literally the easiest character in the world to write? She's an adventurer who takes on jobs because it's fun. She likes the challenge. She loves travel and history and finding lost
She also probably likes crushing watermelons between those thick thighs.
treasure. She was designed to be a female Indiana Jones with a touch of James Bond sophistication thrown in, and that's why she worked so fucking well. She wasn't really a character that we were supposed to know intimately. She was more of an icon, an archetype who was compelling precisely because of what we didn't know about her. It gave her
Yeah, it's just a simple character type. Does cool things and everyone likes it. Doesn't need really too much of a backstory or anything.
a mystique that teased little bits of information but always left you wanting more. It's not rocket science, but the more layers of narrative complexity and cliched backstory they've tried to heap on her over the years, the more they've polluted the simple elegance of her original archetype. I don't want Lara
Wait, did this indigenous Japanese or Vietnamese or whatever farmer village just grant her their prize jewel possession that is a fucking grappling hook, or am I missing something here?
original archetype. I don't want Lara Croft to be tied down by constant guilt and fun-killing self-doubt, or surrounded by a bunch of naggy friends who do half the work for her and are constantly having to push her forward against her will. The Lara Croft that I grew up with was a loner by choice, because she didn't need other people to validate her own existence. She only had herself to rely on.
Yeah, she just did shit. Simple and elegant.
And that was enough. And it's not like we're dealing with the A-team here either. Jonah's a big affable buffoon who exists only to support everything that Lara says and does. Camilla's inserted purely so the
Simp.
writers can have a will they
Ugly lesbian.
won't they relationship with Lara, and Zip makes me want to punch
Gay.
right through my TV screen every time he shows up. The guy is simply insufferable.
And I'm probably right, because writing typically nowadays is as deep as, well, you see it.
He's about as funny as a bridesmaid's speech, and the decision to make him as campily, flamboyantly gay as possible undermines
Told you.
what could have been a perfectly good aspect of his character if it was handled with more subtlety than a rainbow-coloured chainsaw. Why do you have to reduce guys like him into the most tedious stereotypes imaginable? Charles had a tiny bit of potential to act as a decent foil for Lara by morphing into a villain that's more complex than he seems at first, and there's a clumsy attempt to
We saw this. Oh no, is this the same guy we saw at the start? Because the guy at the start had some blackish vein thing going on with his arms that was extremely on the nose, didn't mention it. Is this the same dude or not? I don't get it.
potential to act as a decent foil for
I think it's the same dude.
Lara by morphing into a villain that's more complex than he seems at first, and there's a clumsy attempt to parallel their different ways of dealing with personal loss, but it never gets going because his character is so melodramatic and weighed down by clunky dialogue that you just can't take him seriously. And I've got nothing against the voice actors here. Richard Armitage and Hayley Atwell both do their best with their horrendous material, but man, even the best
Oh, that's probably hot coffee. Someone arrested her for assault, what the hell?
material, but man, even the best actors in the world can't elevate this shit. Even the animation looks like garbage, trying to replicate the style of 80s and 90s cartoons, and there's a weird jerky quality to the character movement.
Oh, what the hell was that? Oh my lord. Wow.
quality to the character movements that make them look stiff and robotic. Lara's character design swings wildly between slender and borderline feminine and bulked up and butch with absolutely no explanation, like she was being worked on by completely different creative teams with their
Probably was.
own takes on the character. And the thing is, that animation approach made sense in something like Masters of the Universe, because it was directly trying to tie into the original 1980s cartoon. But here it just feels like some weird callback to a previous show that never existed.
It's all bad at the end of the day. Anyway, Drinker, leave. That was Critical Drinker, 10 out of 10. Bye. And don't watch the show, it's obviously bad.